faith is very important to you. What are your practices? Do you pray a lot? Are you a scripture reader? Like, how do you stay connected?
So, man, with that, now I have not always been a big reader, right? Yes. I used to, I graduated, man. I used to be a Devo guy, right? Devotional. Yeah. I kind of put my big boy Bible pants on now, so it's like, it used to be just, hey, I did my Devo.
A little 60 seconds.
A little 60 seconds. Yeah. Good to go. So, man, I've definitely, man, I fell in love with reading scripture.
All right.
Now, because it's, I learned, man, I'm 46, always better late than never, man. But I learned, man, it's like the more you read them, they start talking to you. And
just living.
And wow, bro, when I say when I got to the point where I started to pick up on things and where I felt like I was getting answers that I prayed for, and it was literally through scripture.
Yes.
Right? And it was just like, that was like a real aha moment for me.
Yeah.
And that was another thing, right? Even after I was having all those, understanding that I was missing something, right? That was one of the things that I was missing.
Yes.
Right? I wasn't reading.
Yeah.
Right? I wasn't studying. And so I started doing that. And, this, matter of fact, honestly, this year, I made a commitment to read through the entire Bible, and I've never done that before.
Bible in a year?
Yeah.
We talked about that in
you
the last
and your kids doing that also, right?
Yeah, I'm getting a little behind, but
yeah, man.
Right. And
I'm trying.
Keep hope alive.
Yeah, man. I mean, and here's the deal with that. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I don't miss any moments. I don't miss a day. Yeah. I might miss a day here, but I always get back into it.
Yes.
Right.
That's right. I just jump to the day and jump right back in.
Go back in. My little U version or whatever. Say, ooh, I missed 2 days, 3 days. I go to the little thing over there and say, fast forward, catch me up.
Yes, sir.
Catch me up. So I keep going, man. But yeah, scripture, started reading and digging into scripture more. And the other big part that's important to me is community, right? So, I'm very involved with our men's ministry at church. And, I've been strong, in men's ministry probably for like the last maybe 8, 9 years.
Yes.
And I've made that a point, to make sure that I stay connected, man, because, that's a game changer. Mm-hmm. When we try to do life alone, and we're good at that as men, right?
Yes.
We try to handle everything on our own. And,
like, I'll be in the garage days at a time sometimes. Just
don't want nobody
to pull me out of
it. Yeah, don't want anybody to know what you're going through, or having that pride and and trying to do everything on your own. But that's one of the things that that has really helped me a lot. Making sure that I got a support system, and I'm not trying to do life on my own. And that connection is important, man.
It is. I mean, we not built to carry that load by ourselves.
Mm-mm.
So yes,
not at all.
That's awesome.
So, any questions on the faith? We'll go into maybe health. You're in incredible shape, obviously. So,
man,
has this always been the case?
He looks like
no, man.
Maybe we go into the physical. So so talk about maybe your health story and how important is health to you now. Clearly, it is, but
yeah. Well, the crazy thing is that I've always considered myself to be an athlete. Yes. From high school or middle school, high school, running track, playing basketball, football, that it's always been constant, doing something, moving. And, I've always had a really competitive nature, right? And, as I've, been in the military, I got to the point where I got off left active duty. And, when they don't make you do it anymore,
you ain't active no more.
You ain't active no more, man. A lot less active, and I noticed. I'm like, oh man. I look in the mirror and I'm like, where'd that come from? A lot of extra movement.
Feeling all jiggly.
A lot of extra movement. I was like, what? So I was, my wife, she noticed it too. I was like, oh, I gotta do something. And another thing, man, I used to have a lot of digestive issues.
Okay.
Like, I mean, my stomach would hurt so bad, and doctors would tell me it was like, acid reflux or GERD, and they were giving me medication for it.
Yes.
And it didn't help.
Yeah.
But fast forward, man, I continue to have those issues, and 2018, and I'm a big food guy, right? So I've been in the culinary industry my entire career, starting in the military, and so that's something, man. Everything is always revolved around food,
yeah.
And but 2018, I just got to a point, man. I was the heaviest that I've ever been, man. I was hovering right between 235 and 240.
Yeah,
I'm 5'11", so
yeah.
It ain't muscle. It wasn't a muscle, man. I was just like, man, I got to do something different. And
tell me your age. Is this around that late 30s or?
So this is where we. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is like 38.
Yeah.
This was 37, 38.
Yeah.
Somewhere right in there.
Yes.
And your theme is
I'm
right?
I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to see it.
We got a theme here, but man, I started reaching, man, and I started looking, and I was one of those people, man. I like to tell people that I'm like my own, lab rat. I'll try anything.
Yes.
Not anything, but I'll try stuff to get my own perspective to see how it works for me. So I keto, low carb, high pro, all that stuff, man. It was just, and it just got to the point where I was like, well, man, I don't know what to do anymore.
What's the wildest one you tried?
I would say, dude, keto was the craziest thing to me, because I ain't even tell you how much bacon I ate.
Bacon
That's the
bombs.
opposite of what you're doing now.
Bacon
so I
bombs.
can
Oh,
just
yeah,
imagine
yeah.
what the psychology of
Man,
all the bacon.
listen.
Is doing to you.
If I get, I mean, boy, I had bacon and everything. Don't tell me that I can eat bacon and bacon, man, it was bacon and everything, but that got over real quick. Real quick, man. I think I got to that third month. I'm like, man, I don't ever want to see bacon again in my life.
That's pretty solid though. 3 months. That's solid.
And that was so hard because, dude, I love carbs.
Did you see any results from the keto?
Yeah, I did, and I did see some results, but man, it wasn't sustainable for me.
Gotcha.
Like, I realized really quick. I mean, I almost didn't make it as far as I did, but I was like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it. Y'all seen the documentary What the Health?
Yes.
Right?
Netflix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're right at about 2018 now, man, and I saw this documentary, and man, my mind was blown.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? That's in the milk, and this and that, and the eggs and the meat, and I was like, I'm sitting here, me and my wife, we just looking back and forth. We looking back and forth. Oh my God. And so, man, I caught the fever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, we going plant-based. She said, really? I said, yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go plant-based. And so we went for a whole year.
Yes.
Like literally,
Awesome.
we went cold turkey.
Yeah.
Right? I'm one of those crazy people, and I think we're kind of
We got some
like,
similarities.
bro, if I'm gonna do it, I'm jumping all the way in, and that's what we did.
Yes.
And the great thing was we did it as a family. So it wasn't. I didn't. I know in a lot of cases when people try to make changes, it's hard because the kids eating this, and you're eating this, or your spouse is eating this.
You got
different
meals.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So we actually did it all together, man. And
And you do have a son, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
How old is your son?
So my youngest
okay.
is 12,
Okay.
and my oldest is 23.
Okay.
Yeah, he about to be 24.
So 2 kids. Okay.
So I got 2 boys. Two boys.
Twice
Right
his
on.
age.
Right on.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
11. It's an 11-year gap between these guys, man. So, but great relationship. But
That's
anyway.
awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah, man,
You're 230. You see some success with keto.
So and that was kind of short lived because after eating all that bacon, I started eating all the other stuff, too, and I gained all the way back.
It's a gateway drug.
Yeah,
Bacon is a gateway drug.
pretty much, man. So I gained all that weight back.
Okay.
So 2018, man, we went for a full year, and dude, I lost like 40 pounds.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lost like 40 pounds, man, and I
Sounds
got
familiar.
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah.
That's your story. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
240, right?
228 to 188.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was amazing, right? I felt great. I had never felt so good, man. I mean, like all those digestive issues went away. I was sleeping better. I had more energy. I mean, people thought I was sick. And,
Yeah, I heard that too.
Like you
all
okay?
right? You sure
You all right?
Yeah.
Are they still asking you if you're sick?
Well, no.
Okay.
Not
They'll stop
anymore.
after a while.
They'll stop after a while. It took a while, but yeah, they don't ask me that anymore. But yeah, man, I just had this amazing transformation.
Yes.
And I would love to tell you that was like my happily ever after, and I never changed, but that's not how it went. Not how it went, man. I think I recall having a bad day. I don't know what it was, man, but I drove by restaurant, man, and chicken wings were whispering.
Oh, it was the wings.
Yeah, it was the wings.
Hey, that's what broke me, man.
Yeah.
Because I did vegan for a year, and right around the same time with the health or whatever, just the shock factor of that. And so I did vegan for a year, and then I did vegetarian for like another 2 years. And what broke it, after a baseball practice, we were getting some Chinese food to take to the house, and I was like, I think I want some chicken wings. And and that opened the floodgates,
Bro,
and I right back and get this meat. Yeah, sure enough, man.
I understand.
Yeah.
So after that, man, I went back, and that was once again the gateway.
Yes.
Back into, eating any and everything, a lot of high fat, high sugar, high processed stuff, and all the weight came back again. So. I'm doing this yo-yo thing, right? Up and down, man. I'm like, wow. So, once again, I mean, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I told my wife, I said, man, I can't. I said, we got to. I watched another documentary, and I think it was Forks Over Knives or one of those. And once again, I caught the fever. And I said, man, it worked that time, it can do it again. So, this time, and this is when I learned about fasting.
Yes.
Okay. So, which I know that y'all are.
Yeah.
I was really intrigued, man.
We dabble.
That after I watched your first podcast and y'all was talking about fasting, I said, man, who are these guys?
You guys are crazy.
Yeah, but the crazy, they just as crazy as me.
That's right.
Right? So, man, I said, and honestly, this was nothing that I read or anything like that. I was just thinking, I said, what can make this thing easier? And I said, and I don't even know where it came from. I said, I'm going to fast for 7 days. I'm just going straight water for 7 days. And I told my wife was like, really? I said, yeah.
It wasn't no we gonna do this on that one. It's like you doing this.
She did it.
She did
Really?
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
She did it with me.
Hey man, that's strong.
She did, man.
Yeah, you're not on the island.
No, brother.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why I love this woman so much, man. She deals with my craziness, right? So
That's a good way to put it. Man.
yeah, man. She'll go right along with me, man. And she said, "Okay, if you say so, then we'll do it together." And we did it, man. And boy, that was the hardest 7 days of my life, man.
Sure.
I was like,
Now, and how long ago was that?
this was 2019.
2018.
Yeah,
Oh, COVID time frame.
Right before COVID. Yeah, right before COVID, man. So 2019.
That's
right around the time Fast Way Out started. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So yeah,
I got to 4 days. That's a long
got
time
it for
ago.
Hey man, that's
it was the worst 4 days of my life,
brother. That's a huge accomplishment, man. I mean,
I timed the end wrong. I ended at like 2 in the morning.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was like at midnight. I'm sitting there like, I won't do that again. But
No, it was we got through it, man, and my whole point was that, hey, after the 7-day fast, man, you know, I'm gonna reset my taste buds. My body is not gonna crave the sugar because, dude, I'm that guy. I'm the ones that I'm one of them guys that cookies, cakes.
Yes, sir.
I want it all, man.
Give me that decadent stuff.
I want all of that, man. I give up everything else before I give up the sweets, right? That was me. So, but it actually worked, man. Coming out of it, I mean, we didn't just go plant-based this time. We went whole food plant-based.
Okay.
So to give you an idea, that means, you know, we didn't use any oils. We weren't using any processed sugars. Wow. You know, minimal salt, and we just really kind of cut out the processed foods, man. And
that's huge.
Right. So I mean, when I say I went in. So this time, not only did I lost more weight this time. This time, bro, I got down to 181 pounds. I mean, and
you hit about that same size.
Yeah, my 188.
Okay.
Yeah. Cardio wise, it feel like you can run for days at that point.
Boy,
like it's just crazy.
Man, it was crazy. Like dudes were like you. Dude, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Until they hear about it, they're like, nah.
Yeah, they're like,
they don't want to part.
They say, oh, what you don't eat meat? Nah, I'm good, bro. But you know, the thing was that it was amazing. So I went head first in, man. You know, I said, Dr. T. Colin Campbell. He has a Center for Nutrition Studies, man, and I started reading his book. The China study, and man, I mean, they were just going deep into the stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness. And so he has a certificate course, man. I jumped in, did that course, came out, man, and I was like, ooh, I just felt like it was a new world. Yeah. And you know, I told my wife, I said, well, if I'm gonna adopt this lifestyle, then I need to change everything.
Yes.
Like I need to cook differently. I mean, you know, I'm still knee deep, you know, in that game, you know, in the culinary world. So I was like, you know, I need to go somewhere where I can cook like that.
Yeah.
So, you know I share with y'all, man, it was like, at first I did a Google search and searched into Google looking for local restaurants. And the first restaurant that popped up, they're not open anymore, but it was a Good Life Cafe, right? And so I'm like, oh, Good Life Cafe. And I was like, okay. So I'm, you know, flipping through the pages, and I get to the page where it's just pictures. And I get to this picture, and man, I almost ran out the door. I wish I had it saved, and I probably still got it somewhere. But I zoomed in on this picture, and it was a picture of me, my wife, and my son sitting at the table outside of Good Life Cafe eating.
Wow. Yes.
And I'm like, I looked at my wife. I said, you're not going to believe this. Yeah. I said, yeah, I promise you won't believe what I'm about to show you. And I turned the computer around, and she was floored, man. Her mouth like, she's like, you got to be kidding. I was like, so, you know, we look at things like, well, that must be a sign, you know, right? Yeah. That's a sign.
Synchronicity. Some people.
Yeah. So, you know, I called them, got the phone, called them right away. I'm gonna call and see if they, you know, this is crazy. Yeah. So I called them and they said, no, you know, we don't have anything right now, but, you know, just if you want to bring your resume by, and you know, and anything comes up, you know, we'll call you. So I said, cool. So at that moment, I went printed a copy of my resume out, went up there, took it to him, and so right now this is like beginning of December, 2019, and she right the first week of January, I get a phone call, and you know, they're like, hey, you know, this is the general manager, you know, over at Good Life Cafe, and we have a chef position open, and you know, you have a lot of experience, and you know, are you interested? I'm like, yes. So so I start working there, man, and I'm just like, wow, like this is awesome. Yeah. Like I get to cook how I eat every day, and this is so I'm loving this, man.